All right, welcome to the FeedBak podcast, everybody. My name is Back. This is episode 210. A couple announcements. Number one, make sure you go back and check out the archives where this guy stretches. I don't know why he's stretching here.
No, I'm doing.
You'll see in the video. And back to the archive. I've had some great comics on JT Kelly, Mike Hudak, Sean Patton. The list goes on and on. So make sure you go back and listen to the archive. And number two, make sure you follow the FeedBak, BAK, everywhere on social media, as well as Hip Hop Bingo, because we're bringing this shit back. And by the time this airs, Hip Hop Bingo already happened, but we'll have more if this one's worked out. Now, my guest is a returning champ. He was here on episode 194. I don't know why you turned your back to me.
I was gonna do a big reveal.
Oh. Like nobody could recognize you from your back.
Well, okay, that's a little bit of a gay joke there. But that's fine.
Not intentional. There's gonna be a lot of those, by the way. I'm telling y'all right now.
Yeah,
but it's fair. It's
from
fair.
your side. I'm gonna roast you.
Dude, it doesn't matter. I'll take it. Well, no, I'll take the jokes. I'll take the jokes.
I'll take it. Sunny side up.
Yes. So we got Colton Dowling. We're taping here in the green room at Creek in the Cave.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for letting me bring my studio.
No, thank you for fitting in the schedule. You know.
Oh yeah, of course.
People have been trying to get me to do stuff, and I'm like, listen, unless you can come to the Creek in the Cave where I'm at 24/7, I can't do it.
I appreciate it. And by the way, congratulations, you're 2 months in.
Yeah.
And
it's
been killing.
Whirlwind. Jesus Christ.
But nobody can tell. That's the beauty of it. It's like from an operation standpoint, it's crazy because you're owning a freaking club and there's gas leaks or shit happens, broken windows.
Pile of termites.
What?
A pile of termites, and then I said, and then I stomped on them because I didn't know what to do. What do you do? I started with what an elephant or a horse would do with a mouse.
That makes perfect sense,
right?
There's one guy I would call that I know if I had any issues, whether it's plumbing, it's critters.
Mike Hudak.
No, Dean Stanfield all day. I would call Dean. Come on down, Dean. We need you to fix this pipe. And then there's a bat infestation in there too. So, put your boots on and don't put gloves.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? But
we
get in
had
there.
a bird's nest outside, and I go, Dean, what do I do about those? He goes, I'll just kill them birds. And he went to go get a ladder during a show. He thought he was just going to climb up and murder some baby birds during a show.
I believe it. He did? What did he do?
No, he absolutely did not. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, after the show, did he go up and kill the birds? Get the eggs?
No, they actually grew up pretty fast. It was only like a 2-week problem. One of the birds fell out of the nest.
And died right there on the stage?
And then, some lady was hitting it with a stick. Not hitting it, but
poking
prodding it?
Yeah.
And I was like, you're a grown-ass woman. What is your fucking problem? And so then they put it in one of our planters.
Uh-huh. The birds.
The little baby bird.
Uh-huh.
And the mother kept on coming back and was feeding it for a while, but then it died 2 days later. And
what about the other one?
I think it grew up. I'd like to think that it grew up.
I think Dean had made some fried chicken later that day.
Ew. Apparently. No, I can't remember what I was going to say. It was something along the lines of baby birds will push other baby birds out of the nest so that they can eat more.
Really?
Yeah. And I was thinking about that because I've been talking to my younger siblings a lot lately about hey, was life fucked up for you as well? And we'd be like, yeah. You had a good childhood?
I'm not going to sit here and brag when I know you haven't gotten a hug from even your dog, so I think
yeah.
this is
No, my dog hugs me now.
Now he does.
She does.
He does. No, but that makes sense, though. If you're trying to get the attention, get the competition out the way.
It was right. We had lunches, and we had snacks for lunches, right? So my mom would make 4 lunches every day, brown paper bags, and it'd all be one sandwich, one special treat, fruit snacks or something like that, and then a bottle of water or something. I don't know, a standard
lunch.
lunch.
Yeah.
And if we caught the other person eating one of those snacks, like the special treats for not lunches, we would fist fight.
Wow.
Yeah, because you wouldn't get extra. You got only, one box 1 week. So they bought enough for just the lunches.
Uh-huh.
And so if you ran out, you didn't get any fruit snacks. So I was like looking at my brother like, fuck you. You are stealing my lunch snacks instead of being like, Mom, can we maybe buy 2 boxes?
Right. There's a simple solution to this.
It was. But like at the time, you just see it as like it's your fault for stealing my, like you can't see the bigger picture.
Right.
So like I remember it was the same thing with milk. So we got 1 gallon for 1 week.
Wait, 1 gallon for the entire family for 1 week?
Yes.
How big's the family? 5?
6.
Six,
There's 6
okay.
of us.
Okay.
And so if I caught him putting too much milk in his cereal, like I would just fucking slam his head into the cereal and be like, "What are you doing?"
You had rations at your house.
Yeah. Why my dad's in the army.
That explains it all. That's all you have to say.
Everything was regimented, and it was like group mentality, and then you're taught to like self-police because like your commander can't be like taking care of everything. So
Right.
like the whole like culture is built around like self-policing and like
discipline, and you take care of your own shit. Don't get out of line.
Don't step out of line. I remember my sister, she liked Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I in
First of the month.
yeah. She was in, I believe she was in
She
6th
listened to
grade.
hip hop. Oh my God.
She was in 6th grade, and
Uh-huh.
I was in kindergarten. And I didn't really have a stance as a kindergartner on Bone Thugs and Harmony, but I remember my mom and dad were not happy about it. They were like you can't listen to that. Like the way they treat women is terrible. Like they have like basically just like misogynistic.
They rap so fast. How can you catch any word in the first place?
I don't know. I was in kindergarten. But I remember being like, God damn, why is she fucking up like this? Like, what's wrong with it? Like, why doesn't she want to be a part of our family?
Wow.
Yeah.
See, my dad was not in the army, but he always told us when he was in school, they did an exercise. I think it was in elementary school.
Okay.
And they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
And my dad's answer, point blank, was, I want to order people around.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, there was no, if I translate, he goes, I want to command people.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said. Everybody was like, yeah, I want to be,
Did he mean military?
No. Just, I want to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
And so he worked his way up at IBM to get to a point where he delegates everything. My dad delegates. He loves to like, when he'll go, all right, yeah, your mom and I are going to go out to eat. You look up the restaurant and you tell me. I'm like, Dad, wouldn't it be romantic if you actually chose the thing?
Yeah.
And you know what mom's like, and then no. You look it up and you tell me, I'll pay. I'll pay for it. But I don't want to do any of the work. Delegates all the fucking time.
That's how I am that way.
What, you delegate? Or
I
you
delegate.
See, I don't.
I go, this is what needs to get done. Can you do it? This is what, okay. And if not, I'll find somebody else to do it. What do you need? What do you need from me? What do you need to do? When can you get it done by? Like just
but that's from your dad. Is it everybody, your brother and sister, same thing?
No.
They went out of line
It's
after Bone
basically
Thugs.
two and two. So the eldest is a biomechanist for the MLB. So basically, like
What?
Mechanist. So she basically does the ergonomics of the body. So you know how baseball players always have like a hurt elbow?
Yeah.
So she'll calculate, be like, okay, you can do like these many pitches, right?
Uh-huh.
How much work does that put on your elbow? How much could your elbow take if you threw this many pitches? And if you changed the angle at which you throw, will that also increase your workload?
She's an elbow specialist.
No, it's your entire body. I just
I get it.
she's smart and I'm dumb, so that's what I understand she does.
She fixes elbows. Like, you know what? When you pick up a glass, if you do it like this, it's not as much
but you think
strain
like
on
that,
your joints.
Totally.
Wow.
And so if you ever have back problems, it's not necessarily your back. Maybe it's like the angle in which your hips are placed. So like turning your hips or like maybe moving your hips forward or backwards.
Did she tell you like you don't have proper like body posture and
no,
you can't
there's
sit
more
straight?
research that says the development age affects you more. And if you make changes at an older age, you're more likely to get injured because your body's actually like basically
Like locked in place, like already know.
like all the support muscles and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm an old man, so I totally.
Yeah, I'm
relate.
like, and now I don't have to change. You know? My mom's actually an ex-bodybuilder, so we're like, and I was an ex-rugby player, so like we're all like very into sports.
So wait,
I
so
hate sports.
So
I can't watch
hold
them
on.
at all.
You went 2 and 2. So sister fixes elbows.
Oldest, second one lives in a van with her husband.
What?
Not like not in a poor way.
Oh,
so
they have a fridge.
yeah, in like I'm a hippie and he's a software developer and they have a baby and they're Christian and he's a musician as well.
And they
And
travel
they just
the
like
country.
to just travel around and just like
Wow, that's
she
a range.
runs a run club online. So basically, you take this course online and you get to a certain point where then you at the end you go to a destination like her husband's from Tanzania, so oftentimes they go like a safari run in Tanzania or they go to like Portugal, and so you basically do like a month program and then you fly to these like destinations and then you do a bunch of like run club shit.
Man, I can't wait to hear about the third one because you don't sound
I'm
like
the
a
third
fucker.
one.
Oh,
Yay, me.
Who's the
Comedy club owner, comedy cum boy, homo, and the fourth one was going to the league for football. He was playing for Tulsa, starting like 3 positions, and then broke his back.
Ask sister to fix it.
You can't fix broken.
Well, I mean, just, do better. Like, some free physical therapy.
I think that a car crash collision by a human being into your body is really just unavoidable. I think football should just like not exist. Maybe I think that's the cure.
Football's fucked up.
It's stupid. And then, but now he's in med school and doing that.
Wow.
wants
I
to
mean,
be
overall,
enrolled.
y'all came out okay. All of y'all.
It was hectic.
Well, I mean,
But like in the trauma, so like we're just taught in the army, you just keep on moving, right? So
Right.
You can't make a choice, so you just have to deal with it, and it just is what it is. You keep on moving.
Mm-hmm.
So like in all the trauma, it's just funny to look back and be like, why did we do things like that? That was like a really stupid way. We could have just been well-adjusted adults. Instead, we're just like hanging trauma around our bag and be like, I'm sorry for all the pain I've caused my friends.
No. Once you accept the fact that, look, this is me. This is it.
Right.
Like,
But you could change.
No.
No, you could change.
No, could is the operative word here.
Right.
Yeah, but like, we had the, being around, like my dad always wanted to be the boss. My brother always said, so there's 4 of us. Same thing, and I'm second. And I have an older brother, half brother. But my brother always says our family is too many generals, not enough soldiers.
Yeah.
Because we're always on each other's, giving each other the shit when we fuck up.
Right.
Always like, actually, it's even more annoying because it turns into little comments. Where let's say you're doing the dishes or you're cleaning something.
yeah.
Somewhat like my brother, my sister, company go look over my shoulder. And goes, huh? Why don't you do it like that? Like, well, why are you putting the dirty stuff on the left? We should put it on the right. And why are you using this soap? And then it just comments. It's just a constant poke on the side. And
That's
you like,
my family.
and then you want to go, motherfucker, if you don't do it, just do it. I'll delegate. Fuck it. No, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You do it. But I'm telling you, you should do like this, like that. This is exactly what I grew up with. Because my dad does that to this day.
They think, I don't know, the way my dad explained that behavior is every soldier's a leader. So everybody has an opportunity to do that shit.
Yep.
But it was annoying, and I did get in a fist fight with my brother how he put the dishes in the dishwasher.
An actual fight.
Yeah, we fought a lot.
That's like furniture flying kind of fight.
Like, it was 2 brothers, and so we just said, boys will be boys. Like, during commercial breaks, we would just fight just because we could, and we just had, like, rules.
I spent that time, bro.
Yeah. And then it was like, no, it was like, the show's back on, the show's back on. And then, and we just say, boys will be boys. We had one rule, which is if you have gloves on, you can punch in the face, but no kicking. And then if you had no gloves, then just no punching in the face.
Wow. Like, how bad did he ever get? Did you ever send your brother to the hospital or anything?
No. But there are some like holes in the wall where somebody just like grabbed something and just like smashed me like, ah!
my younger brother, and I love him to death, but we always had the sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
He's 3 years younger than me, and growing up, I was kind of he's the opposite of me in the sense that, well, he's a nerd like I am, but he's way more introverted, homebody. I'm I want to go out, I want to see people, I want to talk to people. So every time we went on trips, like organized trips, like with my dad with IBM, and we ended up with a bunch of kids, I was the popular one, and he was annoying as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And he hated it.
Yeah.
Because I would side with my friends, my new friends,
Yeah.
Instead of my brother, my own blood. And we get into fights all the time because of that.
Yeah.
And we used to play stupid games like we'd hide in the bushes and throw rocks at each other.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, oh, here comes the big one. And he'll stick his head out and then just knock him with a rock dead in the forehead. And he'd go, oh, you hit me. You fucking hit me. No, I said it was a big one. You stuck your head out. That's what happens, man. We're playing with rocks.
This is about that dangerous game.
No shit. But and I remember we had I forgot how this fight started. But my parents always knew about that. And they're always like, yo, back, why do you always side with your friend? I'm like, it's fucking annoying.
He knew the rules.
Annoying. He knew the rules. He knows what's up. And we fought it out. I think we just moved to the U.S. And we were both all stressed out because, of course, moved to a new country, language, all that stuff, right? Culture shock. And we had a huge fight. And my mom was like, my sister tried to stop it. And my mom was like, nope, let him fight. My dad was like, nope, let him fight. Just one last time, let it out. And now we're cool. Now we're cool.
Yeah. My brother's my best friend, too.
There you go.
Did you have a messy room growing up?
No, I did not. I was the clean one.
Ah.
I was the clean one. My brother would when we shared a room, his side was the messy side. But no, I was the clean one.
We had our own rooms, but both of us were the messy one. And I remember walking into his room one time, and I stepped on one of his old lunches that had a pudding in it. And it just squashed it, went everywhere. And he was like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, why would you step on my lunch? And his room was
my ration for the
it was
week.
littered. There was littered with just everything. And in his mind, you had to find the holes. And he was so mad at me that I didn't find the hole there. And
but did he laugh when you got in trouble and vice versa? Or you're like, you dumb bitch?
I literally never got in trouble.
You never got in trouble.
I never got in trouble. If I ever got in trouble, it was always me talking my way out of getting in trouble. And then at the end of it, yeah, he got in trouble a lot. He got in trouble a lot because he would do the thing. He would suffer the consequences. But there are consequences. I was like, not if you don't adhere to the consequences. So stay in your room. I was like, okay, cool. So I'll go in my room and then just leave my room.
That's not, man.
I just wouldn't
do
the thing.
You're towards the bottom of the totem pole on 4. So did the last one get a pass too?
Brother. I was the oldest son.
Oh, so the youngest is the sister.
So my sister got in trouble all the fucking time. If she had a 91
the top
in
one.
school, yeah, if she had a 91 in school, she would be grounded that weekend because what if you became a B? And then my second sister just wasn't as smart, so she would get a C, and it would be like, okay, well, she's really trying.
They're exhausted. That's what it is.
By
By
the
time they
third
get
one,
to 4.
yeah, by the third one, I was like, I had all A's my entire thing, so I was like, I'm playing by the rules. You guys can't technically ground me right now. And at the end, because my parents got divorced at the beginning of my high school, and I didn't speak to my mom. And then she went back to get her PhD. So then I was my brother's caretaker. And I remember her coming home, trying to enforce rules. I was like, you barely live here. We have our own world.
You have no idea, bitch.
Yeah. She found a case of Keystone Light, really, really, really shitty beer. And I remember her trying to take my keys away. And I just looked at her, and I went and got her keys. And I was like, hey, I don't need anything in my car. If you want your car back, you can give me my keys back. And she was like, give me the keys. And I was just I remember holding them up and be like, no. And I remember her hitting me, punching me as I just held them in above her head and just laughing at her. I wasn't a good kid. This is what I'm saying.
Well, there's the thing. Yeah, but if you're, here's the thing. If you do get the straight A's and people like you, you can get away with shit.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't get it. I couldn't like. I was getting the A's. I was always like top 5 in my classes and everything. I didn't have a choice. I had to work my ass off, but and study my ass off. But I have the record.
I never studied at all.
I have the record in ass whoopings.
Yes.
I can tell you some dude, man, and we're Africans, so Africans we don't fucking.
My dad one time tried to punch me in the face, but like I grew up learning to fight, and I was playing rugby at the time, so it was like those didn't work on me.
Yeah.
Like I would just swat, and like I was like
you had parry techniques or something?
I was like I know how to fight, so like your ass whooping will not work on me.
You never had the belt? There's no blocking that shit.
You come at me with a belt, I'm getting a stick. Yeah.
When you're 5 years old.
Oh, when you're 5?
When you're 5 years old, there's a belt coming at you, and you try to grab it.
5 years old.
And I'll say this. This is like domestic violence episode. But and then when your father knows that you are a righty.
Yeah.
And he says, "No, give me the left hand."
Oh shit.
Yes. And if you don't, you get, wherever it lands.
Oh.
I was not abused, folks. I'm not trying to.
No. I feel like that's
I'm not trying to say that, like, my dad was abusive or anything like that. I love my dad to death. We came out right. This is Africa. This is what we do.
I mean, my dad wasn't around much at that age because he was like constantly getting deployed or anything. So like that time in my life was like my mom raised
So your
me.
mom did the disciplining.
Right, but she was also a therapist.
Or she would talk you to death.
So basically, I grew up learning that it's more of a mental game than a physical that. So it's like, oh, I can think rationally and like figure out what the problem is.
Interesting. So how'd that play out later? Later in life, like in college and when you traveled, when you were a model and all.
I think one of those. I think that tactic of, this is to sound weird, but I think being someone who can rationale so well, I think it actually like made me come out later, if that makes sense. Because I've been bi pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
But because I was bi, I just was like, Colton, you're not gay. You're bi, so you're not gay because you like girls. Gay people don't like girls. You like girls. Like, and you just like talk your way out of it. But what about that one time? I was like, yeah, well, and then you just like think about all the different reasons why that truth can't be truth.
Oh, interesting. So how did it happen? I mean, if you don't want to tell a story, feel free. But
I think that eventually my lust for freedom and being able to do whatever I wanted to do and basically breaking down my own morals, my own thought, and where do you place, and prioritize, what is it? Not moralities, but just what's important to you in life.
Right.
Like, all right, if freedom to me has always been number one, so if I would like freedom and I sometimes feel this way, the only way to have true freedom is to do whatever I want.
Well, worst case, you could talk to them to death like your mom would, or if they don't listen, you whoop their ass like your dad would.
Right, but if you're talking to yourself, you can't just start punching yourself. But
I mean, like the if it took you that long to get to that point, like, oh, this wasn't important to me, so I'm gonna do. But was it an internal fear versus, hey, if I do this, then the repercussions, the consequences in my relationships and my daily life are going to change drastically, and I might lose what I have.
Yeah, I think
so. It's both sides. Is what I'm trying to get at.
I think so.
It's inside and
because
outside.
I was doing such like quote unquote masculine things, it was like maybe I was holding on too tightly to that.
Yeah,
and now I'm like, I'll wear a dress. Like I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I'm just like, if you think I'm masculine, cool, and if you think I'm a queen, like, yas. Like, I don't care. I just
flip a coin. I win no matter what.
I just, you know why? Because I still like me, and like that was what was so hard. Is like pleasing everybody else. Like you end up hating yourself because you can't do everything. So that for me was the most liberating thing. Is just like not needing to please everybody, not needing to do all that stuff.
That takes a while to get to.
It's It's one of those things where it's just like I've like when you're young, you hear it all the time. Like
What? Be
like,
yourself.
be yourself.
Yeah.
Like you hear that, but then you go like, yeah, but you don't know how big of a bitch Jessica is. Or like,
But not just
"Yeah,
that.
but punches hurt from bullies. You know, like yeah, but
Yeah, you're told to be yourself, but you have to what's the word? You have to fit in somehow.
yeah,
And if you don't, we'll put you over there. Nobody will like you.
right.
And I mean,
As a young person, you want to fit in, and as an elder person, I guess as an elder 30-year-old boy.
yeah, fuck you.
You go.
I'm 10 years older than you.
And you go like, what's happiness? And why aren't I happy anymore? And then you go like, oh, is it because you try to fit in your whole fucking life?
Yes,
Is it because
you
you didn't do the shit you like to do because you went to business school and now you think you got to do software sales? It's like, no, dude, like do what you want.
It was the hardest thing for me was when I moved to the U.S. in 98. I was 16 years old.
Will Smith 1999 song, right?
Wait,
Or was that 2000?
what song?
Yeah, party like it's 1999.
How about that's Prince?
No, this one specifically is Will Smith.
I don't know that one. But anyway, I basically had to start over everything. You gonna look it up right now?
They want to know too.
Sure they do. What's the Will Smith song from 1999? When I said 1998. But anyway,
You
go
know
ahead.
what it's called?
What is it?
It's called Willennium.
Fuck. You're 2 years late.
And there's a whole song. It's called Will 2K, The Butter, La Fiesta. Who am I?
That is a deep cut right there. Nobody knows that song but you.
So fresh.
Nobody knows that song. But is it the one when he's like he on the cover he's pointing his finger up? Is it that album?
Um,
Can't believe your friend is late to his own party.
Is that a commercial?
it's an intro.
Ha 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 ha. All right, cut that off.
Something in the 90s.
This is so 90s. So 90s.
Ha 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 ha.
That's fucking Will. No, but I had to start over.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
Sorry.
at 60. I'm
I
trying to
was
get to
like,
a
what
story.
the
He's
fuck are
playing
you
Will
talking
Smith and
about?
shit. No, but it's, you know, I had to start over with everything. With language, with girls, school, everything.
Yeah.
And so I was lucky growing up in
But you moved once? How hard for you?
Yes, to another country. Oh my God.
Yeah, like when I moved to England, they beat me up for being a Nazi. I was like, you guys don't even know what Nazis are.
Yeah, but at least it's the same fucking language. It wasn't for me.
Good point. When I moved to Germany, it was easier.
It was?
No, it was
Of course
hard.
not.
It was hard. And
It was
instead
hard.
of relating to and be like, me too, I'm like, no,
But
I
it sucks.
had
How old were you?
harder.
How old were you? We're not sure I could be, but how old were you when you moved to
It
Germany?
Germany, I was born there.
Oh,
And then like France, that was hard.
I've
but it
told
was
you
fun.
lived 20 fucking lives already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will not finish
Maybe
my story,
I was
so
a
fuck it.
vampire. Wait, I was a vampire when I was younger. Now I'm not.
Well, I mean, you've done a lot of shit.
Wait, can we still do that vampire shout out, or is that just a sound check?
That was a sound check. That you look like a vampire?
Hey guys, if you know any vampires or werewolves, I'm looking to become immortal, so please send them my way to bite me. Do they bite ass or just neck? Because I got a juicy ass. They'll get something out of
I
that.
think they'll bite anything. Whatever's not bony, I would guess.
I'll let you choose.
What do you think's bonier? Neck?
Yeah, I think it's probably all the arteries. That's probably why they choose the neck.
Well, I mean, if you just do the wrist, that would work too. If I'm a vampire, I mean, well, it's harder to aim for a wrist than the neck,
Yeah.
I would say. I wonder who came up with that.
Probably somebody who cut necks off. Yeah, because it's a draconian thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you know a lot about the Ottoman? So during the pandemic, I
You-
learned
you-
a lot
About the Ottoman?
Empire. Ottoman
Why? I want to know why the Ottoman Empire, of all empires.
because, well, I also got really into the Mongolian Empire, and I already knew so much about the European history. But there's so much like misconception about what the first bit into it, I found out that Islam was started in 700 A.D. And I thought, that's insane. That is so recent, right?
In vampire times, yeah, it was
It's
yesterday.
like that was like I remember those days. People were riding on horses, and then Dracula was 1400. But it doesn't matter. The whole East versus West thing was so interesting to me, and nobody learns about the Ottoman Empire. You never learn that perspective, so you just think of like Islam, Arabic, Muslims as one thing,
Right,
but
right,
it's
right.
always been like the most diverse thing. So I used to be really into like the Persian Empire, which is 3000 BC.
Why the fascination? I still don't. Is it a rabbit
Because-
hole or
because
is it?
people talk about culture so much,
Yes.
and then they go like, "Well, my heritage," and just having lived so many different places,
Right.
you realize that everybody's attached to this singularity, which is maybe only 100 years ago, maybe 200 years ago, and is very recent for them. But like, how did those people feel that you're identifying with? And so then you can see like how
Oh.
you can like put into context of like this entire mass of people that consider themselves an individual, but really, and also as a data scientist, so I was really interested in like perspective-based group thought.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Exactly.
So if that is true, how did a lot of these cultures come to identify with a backwards hat, like that? It is like, one day somebody's like, you appropriated my backwards hat. It's like, no, bitch, Tony Hawk made it cool for, like, right?
Did you hear the thing about when people get pissed off at white people for having dreadlocks?
I've heard it.
And you're like, well, Vikings did it. That was a thing. It's not a Jamaican thing, really.
Right. And they're probably not doing it because of the Vikings. They're probably doing it because Bob Marley was dope as fuck, right?
But do you feel like you need to tell them, like, look, man, this is not.
I think that's a bad hairstyle and you look stupid. But if you want to rock that, that's fine. Like, I don't know why people have so much time to worry about all that stuff.
I'm blown away too.
I don't
I'm
know
blown
because
away.
I don't have time. So when somebody tells me somebody said the word faggot, I'm like, was it funny?
I had a.
I don't know.
Some people used to get pissed at me when I would tell them that in Europe we're taught that there's 5 continents, not 7, and they would literally yell at me.
Because they're like, Antarctica
He's like, no,
needs
there's
representation.
7. There's 7, and I'm like, I'm taught 5. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Like,
Because they don't consider Australia a continent?
No, of course not.
Okay, it's an island. I get it.
Yeah, New Zealand is what?
Yeah,
Nobody knows.
also, not my cross to die on. And also, on that same note, Jesus, not the most horrific death. If you've ever heard of, like, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. It's like so many people, like, don't research but then form opinions. And, like,
That's
I can't
most
tell
people.
you how many times I've read the Bible because it is the funniest story in the entire world. Okay? I love it. So then you learn and you put all of that into context. I learned about the Middle East because I learned about being Jewish for a free trip to Israel.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to go over there with, like, no research.
When you were a model, what was the context there? You were just.
Well, no, I just heard that you get a free trip to Israel if you're Jewish. So then I said,
Oh, fuck.
I'm Jewish.
Okay. That's one of the
Yeah,
the
it's
other
called
perks.
birthright. It's called birthright. And you can still do it if you're under 27, I believe. You can go there. I went for the LGBT one, but they take you around to all the historical sites. And I wanted to, like, be informed about those things so I wasn't, like, fed,
Yeah.
And I always do that whenever I go, like, to a historical site. I always, like, take, like, a Great Courses Plus or just, like, read up on it so that the tour guide can't just, like, oh, yeah. And you can, like, actually enjoy and, like, appreciate what you're seeing opposed to just some guy being like, and then Louis C.K. read a book over there and he jacked off over there. And I'm like, what hotel tour am I on?
No, but it's true because people don't. There's I forgot what that's called. Maybe the scientific word, the proper word for when you ask somebody about something, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but they say that they do know about it.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Is that what that is?
It's
like you don't know, but you want to appear like you know,
Yeah.
and you'll say, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about," but you have no fucking idea.
Well, the Dunning-Kruger effect is people that are more confident about the thing they're saying are at some like insane number. Well, don't quote me, 200% more likely to have a negative score.
Mhm.
So if people are like, hey, listen, I think I did bad on this test, then they'll usually score 10 points higher than people that say I did really well, who will score 10 points lower than the other benchmark.
So my youngest brother always said, "I did so well." Then he come on with a C.
confident people, usually I look at them, I'm like, you're dumb.
Nah, it's more like the idea is said no. People can't say I don't know.
I don't know why.
Like there's a term.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a term for that. I don't know what it is, but it's like you can't. If you ask them if they know about, I don't know, like
Marvel.
Yeah,
I
this
always
is-
say yes because I dated a guy who loved Marvel, and he used to talk about it, but I didn't listen. And so,
But you gonna say yes to shut him up or?
no, but like my brain thinks it knows about Marvel now. And then I tried to explain something about Marvel, and I was like, oh,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know anything about it.
There's a term for that. I forgot what it was called, but it's like, yeah, you
Tweet
can't.
us. What's that term?
Or you
At-
think you know, but you actually have no fucking idea.
At
And you just bullshitting your way through a conversation. Like, oh yeah, I know, but yeah, of course, the thing with the thing,
at hashtag, I know that.
like those
I
people.
like you. That's what I think. That's what it is.
What?
It's just like I want to be liked by you.
It's better to be honest. Be like, this is me. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
because the
it's-
next time I ask you a question, I'm not gonna trust that you know because you don't.
chances are I don't.
I got a lot of trust issues. I think. I don't know.
You want to be loved so bad,
Yeah.
so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and judge, but I mean, you did all right. Everybody's done all right. It seems. In your
Yeah. No,
family?
it's interesting. Like
Like with everything that you've done and all the places that you've been, because it's the idea that you can have perspective on different things, right?
Mhm.
Because you were in Europe, you went to the Middle East,
right.
you've traveled, you've seen things, you've talked to people, you're bi and now you're gay or you're whatever.
Who knows?
Yes, you're just thing.
Show me a vagina. Let's test this theory out. Whoa, I'm gay.
That'd be a
Whoa, whoa,
great
whoa,
sign.
whoa, whoa,
Come
I'm
on
gay.
right in. Come on in,
Yeah.
Sylvia. Show us
I'm
your
also
pussy.
concerned that I'm like maybe just gay for some people. Like I'm not concerned about it, but like I feel like maybe there's a girl who's out there that I would love to have sex with, and I know there are.
There's got to be.
There's at least 10 I can think of right now.
There
But
you go.
I feel like sometimes
Come on right in, ladies.
my
Oh.
body goes like, oh, you're gay because you don't like some vagina. And I think that and hey, maybe you're a straight guy. I think maybe you're gay for like maybe like only like 2 guys or like 1 guy, but there's 15 billion people in the world.
No.
And the chances of you ever meeting that person are so low that you would never ever open yourself up to the experience of trying it for maybe 10 guys.
I think we're all on the spectrum.
No, that's just a fact.
No, it's true. But you know that Ron White joke about, oh, you gay? I'll tell you why you're gay. Is that when you watch porn, you just want to see a bunch of vaginas being smushed, or would you like to see a big hard dick going in and out of one? And the guy goes, yeah, I like to see that. There you go.
There it goes.
There you go. I mean, it's. There's no. I've one of my boys is always like, dog, I'm 100% hetero. I'm
Yeah.
like, you say that now.
I had a boyfriend that said he's 100% gay and was like, you can't say that.
You can't be
could say,
repulsed by.
I think that you can. He was a doctor. If he was repulsed by vaginas, that is fucking. He's like icky. That's so funny. It's like you've seen the inside of a human being, but one vagina is just icky. I think I think it's possible for people to be 100% whatever, but I
No.
think that it's more that they're telling themselves that they're not open to ideas.
Right. I don't think there's 100% anything.
I think that people can believe that they're 100%.
Sure, you
whatever.
can believe all you want.
Right, but also I convinced myself for a while, and guess what? I was wrong. I've been wrong before about a lot of things.
That's fine, but if that's something that defines you, nobody's one thing.
no.
It's not 100%. If you're gonna sit there and say I'm 100% Republican, I'm 100%
I'm not
American,
even
like
100%
nah, you're not.
human.
Okay, maybe that's
I'm
the
a
only
vampire.
thing. That's the only thing. Well, you might be 98. So she went back and studied the Ottoman Empire. No, but I don't think there's 100% anything. Everybody has. We're not as simple.
Do you know who Mehmed II is?
Who?
Mehmed II.
Mehmed?
Mehmed.
Is that a king from back? I don't know.
Yeah.
I say I don't know. I will say I don't know.
I'll tell you what. He toppled Constantinople at the age of, I believe, 23. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
I just realized I didn't give any Ottoman Empire facts, and I just wanted people to walk away with one.
That's some history
just
shit.
one. Yeah.
And did you so what'd you get out of it? Like, is that something you throw in like in middle of conversation, or just out of curiosity? And
Well, I was really curious because it was the Kublai Khan expedition into what actually. Did you know that the Mongols were in Paris? The Mongols made it all the way
Paris
to
got invited by
Paris.
everybody.
But like, Paris is fucking west.
Yeah.
That's insane. And at the same time that they were in Paris, they were fighting samurais in Korea.
That's how big the empire was.
That's how fucking huge this empire was. And people like if you think about what's not his fucking name? What's the name? The most famous one? Something Khan. Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. I was about to say Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat.
Shadow Khan.
Shao Kahn.
You think of like this fat dude on on a throne, right?
Right.
This dude, they could shoot. I believe the number is 60 arrows a minute on a fucking galloping horse. These dudes were buff like fucking like jacked ass people. People, if you have they've made a replica bow and you can't even pull it back, and they did that 60 fucking arrows a minute. These dudes were badasses. They came through and basically made the Ottoman Empire possible because they came through and like all the established, governments and like empires, they just fucking
ravaged
ran
the whole
right
thing.
through them.
What about the women?
They would actually spare a lot of the women. I mean, there's a lot of rape that happened for sure.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I'm talking about so if the dudes are like that, what are the women?
Women?
Like, because you described the guys pretty.
So they were the
graphically.
ones who taught the kids. So like, there's a couple stories where they would get outflanked, and basically when you would went into an encampment, it's just women, children, and then like the people, like the sheep herders and whatnot, and with I was gonna say white, but like traditionally European based campsites, that would just be a slaughter. Like they would basically, you just go run, and now all your supply runs done. When they came up against these Mongol women, they got on horses too and started fucking shooting in the style of like getting underneath the horse's neck as it's galloping and shooting like that, because the horse made a shield. So like if you were shooting back, you couldn't hit them.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
These Mongol women were fucking badasses.
I'm trying to imagine what the pussy was like if it was that strong.
Oh,
If I
it
could
was
crush
tight.
it.
Sorry, I didn't realize what the question was. Tight. The
You talk
Mongol
about the
women
men, and I
were
get it.
tight.
So what ended it? The
What
Mongol.
ended?
Yeah, the Mongol Empire.
A mix of things, mostly infighting, and China, the Sui dynasty got a little bit stronger, and it was just like the biggest empire you could possibly manage. So then,
it stretches thing.
It's just like every empire basically.
Every empire
it was
falls.
too hard to manage, so then it got sectioned off into one or the other, and then it got like assimilated by another and whatnot.
Are you this curious about the American culture, America as a culture, as well, or no?
Well, I never got to really learn about American culture, because like
You see it around you. Like, how would you define it?
I have gotten into pirates in the Caribbean. I've been really interested in like the founding fathers and the Revolution, and I've gotten all the way up to Civil War. But then at that point, capitalism basically took over, and it's just like boring.
That's American culture.
And it's basically learning about different businesses rather than like full on like life-changing things. Like the railroad, I got really into the Native Americans for a little bit. because they're so often described as the Native Americans, but it was actually like 10,000 different tribes. And so like you have to learn about this tribe, but then you can't learn about that one. Like, did you ever read that Comanche book?
No, I didn't. I don't read.
Okay, it is
I read mangas. That's
insane.
it.
Those, you might get in trouble for saying this,
What?
but those people were fucking savages. The Comanches were raping. Do you know what the word Comanche means?
Go ahead. I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that I do.
It's a
I take a wild
derivative
guess.
off of an Apachean Navajo word, which roughly translates to "enemy of my friends."
You're dead.
Yeah, they would just go fuck people up. Like, it wasn't just white versus native. This
is what they did.
that they just went. They stole. They were basically a militant group that held other tribes hostage because their military was so great. And they were dope fighters, and like they have a lot of like really positive things too, and like, but they were brutal. Like they would cut your nose off, women, children, like they would just do that to you, hold you slave, sell you to another group. They were just like insane. But you never hear about this shit, and that's only one tribe in like during the span of 100 years.
You know, it's
And what's even fascinating about that is they were able to get so big and powerful and like dominant in the group because the
Where were
U.S.
they in the US?
military, all the way from Texas all the way up to Colorado.
okay.
I think they went as far as Colorado. I think, but they were able to dominate because the U.S. military was coming in, and then guess what? Civil War happened. So all the funding to like basically take care of everyone's problem. It wasn't just like settlers. It was the other natives were mad that the U.S. government was leaving too. Basically got defunded, had to go fight a insanely, I don't even know why it's controversial still, but just like awful, awful war.
Do you ever want it to be on Drunken History? You do so great on that show.
But the problem is I actually know what I'm talking about.
That's
so
fine.
I'd
I
be
think
like,
they do too. I mean, look, a few tequila shots. Oh, you don't drink tequila.
Hell, I'm doing it right now.
Oh, okay. I'm saying this is what it is. Because I mean, you get on there, and then I think most of those stories sound really true.
They're true, but they're without context.
Yes, because it's for comedic.
Right.
You know, it's just to make.
So a lot of
the
the
reenacting
things
is
that you
funny.
hear on that, I'm like, kind of.
There was a show, like, I mean, there's all kinds of shows on Netflix where it debunks like stuff about American history and all that stuff. There was one in particular that was on HBO in the early 2000s called "Assume the Position" with Robert Wool. He's a comedian too.
Okay.
But he basically took all the different myths of American history.
Yeah.
And not debunked them in a sense that, oh, you're wrong. It's like, hey, this story was told this way because it was in a book. Mm-hmm. Like the guy who wrote the book about Paul Revere is the same guy who was the best-selling author because he wrote the story about Christopher Columbus.
Right.
And so when he came down to write the actual story, he was like,
it needs some spice. It
sounds
needs some flair. It needs some flair.
Exactly. So Paul Revere sounds better than Israel Bissell, who's the actual guy who did it, who actually wrote all the way down to warn that everybody that the British were coming. So he debunks all of these stories in American history, and you're like, what do we teach our kids anymore? They're about to take slavery out of books. Did you see that shit?
That's
Texas.
What?
The word slavery is going to be removed from text. From
What are they going to call them?
like some voluntary servitude, some bullshit like that.
Involuntary servitude?
Something like that.
Wow.
But slavery, I mean, they took,
I think
nigga
that's
out of Huckleberry Finn already.
Yeah.
And you're like, how diluted and how fucked up are we? Because unless you
it's
do
whitewashing history.
It
But
is.
I think it is an interesting conversation to have. It's like, okay, so this is my connection to that.
Okay.
When I was in England, you learn about World War II at like 5th grade, right? And
Right.
you're not an adult. You don't fucking know things.
We
You're
did too
a
in France,
stupid kid.
Yeah.
And you like immediately think, how could any German person do this? Germans are bad. So all the kids found out I was born in Germany and beat the shit out of me.
Seriously.
Yes. So then like I more like for a while identified as German because I was like, well, if they're calling me German, then I must be German, right?
You look Aryan as fuck, though.
I could be, but actually I did the 23andMe. I'm mostly like Irish and Russian. It's just like, I guess like the middle of that is Aryan.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Bone structure,
like,
everything.
But if we had just been taught a little bit later about that, like maybe somebody could have the context to be like, oh, you're not German. You're very not German. You're American. Or you are an army brat. Or like there's something like more specific. And I feel like, and I don't know this, I don't know this,
Go
but
ahead.
I feel like if you identify with slaves as a young child, then you will have more pain towards that or like identify with that ancestry because even though you're French,
I'm African.
oh, you're African.
I'm 100% African.
African.
I was born in Africa.
So it's likely, and I don't know your heritage, but it's likely that your ancestors were not slaves. Is that accurate?
Probably not because.
But like American slaves.
Oh no.
But if you had just moved to America at like second grade,
Right.
and you were taught about slavery, you probably be like,
This
that
is
was
fuck-
me and my ancestors.
It's not that far removed. That's it. And on top of
it's
that,
hard,
it's
though,
not
right.
But I mean, in slavery was already existed in Africa before the white people showed up.
Before
White people showed up, there was always slavery in
Persia.
Africa. Yeah, exactly.
Slaves.
It's a thing. It's a thing people do.
3,000
It's like, you're
3,000 years
inferior.
ago, yeah.
You're an animal. We're
I
going to
need
put you in
work.
cages. You're going to be working.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
can't
it.
do anything
That's just-
about it.
Exactly.
You're mine now.
You're prisoner of war, whatever it is, you're a slave. That was pretty much the definition.
Right.
But
That I mean, American slavery was like very, very unique. But I'm just it's just more about how to give that information to somebody because you brought up the school system.
Yeah.
So it's more like how do you educate people about that? I don't think it's using minced words. I think it's teaching people at a proper moment,
oh, you think it's a timing thing?
I think you should learn about that in like your senior year of high school or your
Really?
junior year of high school.
Because it's, I mean, the way that you lived it. But let me ask you this. Was it an interpretation of the kids there, or was it the way it was actually taught? Because those are two different things. Because if they said that, okay, we're going to learn about World War II,
Right.
and there was this maniac lunatic.
But I think that's my point. Is these kids cannot interpret it properly.
then it just.
And I mean, it's not to say that every single kid will not interpret it
Sure.
properly, but people age differently, and especially at fifth grade.
How
middle
old are you in
school,
fifth grade?
like,
I don't know the equivalency.
Fifth grade, it's like
12?
I believe you're like
10?
9, 10, 11, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I remember places where I was geographically, so I don't remember. So I'm like, it was England age. But I don't know. I think there's just a hard thing of like, how do you teach somebody that? And, maybe.
I
And
think
then puberty starts for girls at 8, Like there's girls that already start puberty at 8, and boys are dumb as fuck until they're 30.
Well, we had biology class when I was. By the time I came to the U.S., I had 6 years of biology behind me, and physics and geography, history, geology, chemistry. I had all that 6 years of all of those things by the time I was 16. And so you're taught about biology and you taught about sex, and you're like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, sounds about right. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
And it's not a.
In England, you get a little bit each, and then it's like progressive.
Oh no, the French don't give a fuck. The French go, you know what? Here's the penis, here's the vagina. That's how it works.
You're right. But
Go to lunch. Go to recess.
But then you learn about like STDs later. Then
Oh
you
no,
learn
yeah,
about, like,
yes. Like the health. I didn't know what the whole concept of a health class.
Yeah.
They don't have that there.
Okay.
And I had that when I came here as a freshman. Like, oh, you got it. It's mandatory. You have to take this class.
Yeah.
And then we ended up watching Bill Cosby himself.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
You do that in France.
No,
don't you?
but in
Bon
France they don't
oui.
give a shit because they're very. What's interesting is that they try to foster you, try to help you think more. It's more about the process
right.
of acquiring knowledge and then analyzing things, then
Right.
here's what it is. You see what I
Right.
mean? So when you start studying how World War One started
Right.
and the Archduke of whatever got shot,
World
but
War
you-
One.
World War One, yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay, I thought you said World War Two.
No, World War One. Come on now.
Even that's all just a bunch of fucking nonsense, and it was a multiple choice answer, and it wasn't like, well,
I think it was.
yeah, it could have been because the Ottoman Empire,
But that's the
had
thing.
been like lagging in
you
their fucking
learn about
industry.
all the stuff behind that. It's not just the dude got shot and the war started.
Right.
Right. So it's more about when you took a test, history test, a geography, even a math test.
Right.
It was always about like, show me your work. Like, how do you get to this answer? And we studied the shit out of so many French novels and plays and
Right.
poems. And it wasn't about, this is what they talk about. It was about, why did he use that tense in that sentence? Why is this chapter, why is he describing the tree this way? Why, when you watch the play, and why is he delivering that line this way?
I think
This
England
is-
was the same.
And that's why, I mean, up until high school, the French education, at least back then, was better. Because when that time I got here, I was like, this shit's easy. You guys don't know shit.
I started coasting very early age, and
Yeah.
when I came back to America, because in England, I swear, I want to say kindergarten. You start it's not kindergarten, but you start writing like
Cursive?
cursive, but
Doing
you start
lines?
writing like page papers, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember I still have the books, and they're like the most insane stories because a child's mind is fucking hilarious. But I was like, this is like a 6-page paper
Dude.
that I was
Yep.
writing, and then I wasn't asked to do until later in like high school.
Yeah. High school was easy. Well, it wasn't easy for me because of the language, but my son is 3 years old. He's bilingual already.
Yeah.
And he translates back and forth. He can switch. And I'm like, you're gonna fly through your education here once you go to elementary school and so on, because the part of your brain that develops the ability to acquire knowledge, because different languages and you've been exposed to a lot, is just gonna help you down the line regardless. I mean,
Grammar is
Do-
really
do- do-
interesting
do-
to me,
do you know-
which is weird to say. Grammar is really interesting to me.
I love grammar. I took English, German, and Latin for 4 years.
Yeah.
When I was in France, because I was like, I want to know. I like words. I want to know where words come from. Why do we use this tense? Why?
Or like,
'Cause
why would you put it here
Yes.
instead? Like, because German, they're
Ger-
like,
yeah,
they're
it
going
was
to
second
second down
place.
all the way over there.
Yep. I mean, and I love that shit. So,
Yeah, my husband's right now from Louisiana, and he talks fucking crazy, and I love it. Because he said what that word is, and like the playfulness of that is like it's obviously very incorrect, right?
yeah.
But it elicits so much tone instead of being like, what is that word? What are you saying? You can say what that word is. It's like, don't worry about it. What's that word? You know, like it has so much play to it that when people get like, well, no, they pronouns, it's like, listen, if you can't grasp that grammar can be different, then like learn another language, bitch. Like,
I mean, yeah.
there's so many
Language
chi-
evolves. That's
Yeah.
just a fact. There's no stopping it. It's
Right. And just get on board.
like, seriously.
Or go read. I think you're dumb. Anybody who has a problem? Anybody who has a problem with pronouns? I think you're stupid.
When you think about like in Japanese, depending on who you're talking to, you're gonna conjugate differently.
Yeah.
That's
I love
crazy
that.
to
I
me.
love that.
I know, but it's like you have to know, because if you fuck up, it's actually an insult.
Yeah.
Like just a little thing you add at the end of
Right.
how you call somebody. If it's chan or if it's san or whatever,
Uh-huh.
they look at you like, no, you can't talk to me like that. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Totally. But I also wish that we had that, because then I would love to be like, all right, I'll do it with the word bud. You know, like, all right, bud. You know, like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck you. But like, I love that like little nuance to language that like we have tone and we have like nouns, but like the prepositions, like we don't have a lot of those things because we
No, English is so fucking easy.
It's yeah.
It's so every time I've gotten this conversation, and if I get into it, it'll be another hour-long podcast. But I love when people tell me that English is hard. I'm like, motherfucker, I can prove to you
Yeah.
why English is the easiest language in the world. And I don't know them all. I know 4, and trust me, it's
because
so fucking easy.
It's made for dumb people.
It is. You have you and you for one person and many people, and we don't have that.
Oh, we got y'all.
The fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all.
Dude, it took me 5 years to say y'all after I moved to Texas. I'm like, I'm saying you all. I was really against it when I first got here. I'm gonna say you. I was saying you because I was taught that you is also plural.
It totally.
And I can't say a plural to save my life.
I love it.
I know.
I use y'all in emails. I say I'll use it like,
dude,
y'all having fun on y'all.
It would drive me crazy when I would like proofread a friend's essay and I'll see the word it. Because in French, you would never put the word
lazy.
ça.
Yeah.
You don't. Even the word like to get.
Yeah.
Get to me, and then every English essay that I've written, because when we're taught English, British English.
Yeah.
Right? So my teacher used to get pissed at me because I would say sidewalk and not pavement. And I would spell color without a U.
Yeah.
Because it's British English we're supposed to learn.
Right.
And they would... My friends used to, because I even though we were taught British English, the English that I was exposed to was American English because I listened to hip hop a lot, and my friends would be like, "Fuck you, Back knows more English than you do," and he actually can put some words together. You don't even know how to conjugate, and it's fucking easy.
It's people are dumb, and that's been our podcast, you fucking idiot.
Learn some shit. And if you don't know, learn some shit.
And it's okay to say you don't know. Because then guess what? Now you have an opportunity to learn.
Look, I have a saying. I didn't come up with it. But always go to bed less stupid every night. Not smarter. Less stupid. You're born stupid. You're just trying to get less stupid every night. So think of what you learned. Made a mistake or whatever. But like, I found out about, whatever. You go into rabbit holes on YouTube. Whatever you need to do, but you gotta learn some shit. There's a big world out there, and you have no excuse for not knowing now. None.
Yeah. And what else do you need to know? Creek in the Cave has shows every single night.
Yes.
Come by and follow Creek and Cave on Instagram. I run it, and I'll talk you up in the comments, buddy.
Anything else you want to plug where people can find you?
I'm recording an hour.
Oh, seriously? When?
July 11th, whatever that Monday is.
Okay.
No, Sunday, whatever that Sunday is.
Sweet, congrats, man.
Yeah. So I'm going to be headlining some shows. So follow me on Instagram, Colton Dowling. I'm doing headlining spots. I'll be in Colorado. I'll be in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, you're going on the road?
Houston. Yep.
Nice. Is there, if you want people to know more about the Ottoman Empire, is there like a show or a book you can recommend or something?
Okay.
Or
so
YouTube channel?
Wait. If you want to just like ease into it, because there's a bunch of books that I went down. Watch Rise of the Empire on I'm pretty sure it's called Rise of the Empire on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
It's about Mehmed II, which you guys already are so informed about. And it's about how they took Constantinople. And by God, it is one of the best movies I've watched in I don't know how long.
My dope shit I want to share before we get out of here. There's a show on Netflix called El Inocente. If you like money
El
heist.
Interessante?
The Innocent.
Oh, The Innocent.
I'm not saying it right. But if you like the Money Heist, the Spanish show.
Yeah, I did.
It's 10 times better.
No way.
It is fucking dude. No.
No
Look, my sister told me that, and I know. I'm like, look, you can't just throw that shit around like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Because I love storytelling from different angles, and you don't know how they all wrap together.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I'm only on episode 3.
The Innocent.
The Innocent on Netflix. It's a Spanish show. Watch it with subtitles, please. Do not watch the American dub.
It's worse.
Yes, don't ever watch
anything.
anything.
Also, every second and fourth Saturdays, I run a show called Two Broke Bitches, where you can come
You suck this step
enjoy
on my shit.
brunch. Wait, I thought you were done. You don't own that show.
It is my show.
You.
This is my show.
Oh.
No, I'm
I
kidding.
thought you were saying Innocent was your show. Like,
No.
wow.
I'm saying we'll have the links and all that stuff. If you love Money Heist, if you like storytelling, and it wraps up, it's fucking great.
What's that one about? It's the French one, and
Lupin?
it's what?
Lupin?
Lupin's
Yeah, Lupin.
fucking
Omar Sy.
good.
Yeah, of course. If you don't know, Lupin is the gentleman robber
Yeah.
from a French novel.
Lupin was.
There was an
fucking
anime
good.
about it. It's just a whole thing, but the twist they put on it is, I think it's pretty cool. And Omar Sy is from Senegal too, so
Oh, shit.
love the guy. One of the best. Like, he's funny as shit. He's funny
Dude.
as shit.
And now you know.
And now you know. All right, so Creek and Cave, follow them, Instagram, everywhere. Check out the shows. Two Broke Bitches. First and
Dowling.
second, third. You
First,
said?
second, and fourth.
Second and fourth Saturday here at Creek and Cave. Check out the lineup. Follow Colton everywhere on social media. Follow the feedback and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in, Colton. Thank you so much. Oh, you can kiss the camera too. I will talk to you next time, folks. Ciao, ciao.